we need to talk about Half Life Alyx. Right then, last week, it's not just Shenmue that's making a comeback, it's Half-Life, and we've all been praying that Half-Life 3 will make some kind of surface within our gaming world, but it hasn't. We're still waiting. But what we have got is a VR experience of Half-Life with Half Life Alyx, which is set between Half-Life and Half-Life 2. And I have a lot to say, and I need to spout out a couple of things before I reel them off. Let's talk about this like adults. Like I said, I've got a lot to say. You might not agree with everything, but you might agree with some of the stuff. I'm not seeking approval by any stretch, but before you make your adult comment in the comment section below, let's watch it all and let's get into it. So I read something that alarmed me quite a bit. And I'm going to pull from a source with The Independent, which is a UK newspaper. And what it says is as follows. Players need to have at least a quad-core i5 chip, at least 12 gigabytes of system memory, and a GTX 1060 or better. Those are the minimum specs required in order to be able to run Half-Life Alyx. They're the minimum specs. Further down in this article, it says this. Most players on Steam do not have computers that will be able to play the game as shown by the Steam Hardware Survey, which keeps up-to-date tabs on the sort of hardware people are using to play the games on the store. It also shows that only about 35% of people have a graphics card that will support the game, and less than half of them have the RAM needed. I have not watched a Half-Life Alyx video that has even mentioned PC specs to be able to run it, and it makes me feel a little bit alarmed because I watched the trailer and in my mind I'm thinking this looks and sounds absolutely flawless. You've got like all of the things that you would expect from the Half-Life industrial kind of semi-post-apocalyptic world with the weird kind of face crabs, kind of you see that silhouette of them, kind of him or her going up. And we got Alyx, obviously. We got a very, very tense situations with gunfights. I mean, it really does elate me, the fact that Half-Life as a series isn't dead. But I'm thinking to myself, when they put that trailer out, they must have had the best PC on maximum like specs. No wonder it looks really good. And I'm thinking, out of the very small proportion of gamers that are going to be able to play this in VR in an optimizable state, I think it's going to be a very small proportion of gamers. Now I know that Valve owns Steam, I get that, but we all know that the console gaming market is by far the largest compared to handheld PC and VR. There is also actually on Steam's website a list of VR headsets that you can utilize. There's 4 in total. I'm just going to read out what they are. We've got the Valve Index, the HTC Vive, the Oculus Rift, and Windows Mixed Reality. So even if, let's just say you have the PC, you have this PC, you're in that small proportion that is going to be able to run it and you're going to have no issues. Then, you know, you might not have the VR headset, so then you've got to shell out for the headset. And I'm kind of like, I'm putting stuff out on my own social media, asking what you good people, my fans, my supporters think. And to my surprise, people are like, I'm going to give it a miss, or I don't want to spend the additional money on a headset, which I completely understand. So I'm kind of asking myself, why target such a small amount of gamers? Because for one, I'm not going to bother, and the reason I'm not going to bother is because I don't like VR. I had a PSVR headset, had the first kind of batch. I know it's been improved since, but I had the first batch of PSVR headsets and I played Resident Evil 7. At first I could stomach 10 minutes. The more I played, the more I became accustomed. You know, you kind of tweak a few settings, you kind of there. but it's not something that like oozes longevity for me personally. Now, I wish I was one of those gamers that could sit for hours with a VR headset on and just immerse myself in VR, because if my brain would allow it, I would do it. But unfortunately, I'm just one of the weaklings in society that cannot play VR for any sustainable length of time. So I think I'm gonna be missing out on an experience that I really want to experience, because I'm a huge Half-Life fan. I was so emotionally invested in Half-Life 2. I've mentioned before, it came at such a pivotal time in my life, and it really helped me. And then we kind of like, like I referred to Shenmue 3 at the start, we wanted Shenmue 3. We finally got Shenmue 3. Well, I haven't, because it's not been flipping delivered yet. We wanted Half-Life 3. We haven't got Half-Life 3, but this could be something that's bridging the gap between two. We got a bit of a game here, Half Life Alyx, and then maybe we'll get 3 on next gen consoles, who knows. So I am disappointed. I'm not disappointed in the delivery. I'm disappointed it's PC VR. If it was PS VR, great. That probably would have meant that there would have been, I'd like to think, just a base console version. But who knows? And I don't, to be honest, I think, like I've said, the revenue, if we're talking about this as a business thing, Valve wanting to make some money, I think they're obviously not going to make as much. They've got a very small demographic of gamers going into this. So what I want to know from you is, what do you think? Like, first of all, do you have a PC that is powerful enough to run Half-Life Alyx, without glitches? Will you be buying it? Will you be missing it? Are you one of those gamers that will need to buy a VR headset to be able to embrace yourself in this experience? And for all of us kind of console gamers, we're just gonna have to sit and wait, and fingers crossed, Valve, please, let's get some Half-Life 3 going, because if we don't, I think like the whole world, the whole kind of like every gamer I've ever met wants Half-Life 3. Like, so many fan-made trailers, so many fan-made spoofs, like there's such a buzz about Half-Life 3. If it doesn't come, I'll be floored. Dude, I'll be so floored, because this, like, it's a money pit. Like, Valve would be daft, because it is like a money pit. We're ready to throw money at you for this experience, so come on, Valve. Whether or not we'll get it, probably not, but hey. So there we go, guys. I was blown away at that article by The Independent. I'll link it in the description, but I've given you the bulk of what it kind of contains anyway in terms of the specs. Ooh, it's not looking good, but fingers crossed in March 2020, things might change, more people might have that upgrade, more people might buy VR headsets, who knows, but we'll see. Okay, gonna leave it there, gonna conclude. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm gonna ask my community to help me out by subscribing and leaving a like, and let's see if we can get this video to 100 likes. Thank you so much. Take care. Be back with some out and about stuff this week, guys. So we've got a lot of cool stuff coming. Take it easy. My name is Gemma. See you soon.